What is up, everybody? I am Joseph. This is Joseph's Place, and welcome to another episode of Power to Fury, where I attempt to turn my lowly power amulet into a mighty fury amulet. Now, I know it's been a little while since I've uploaded a video on the Ironman, and it hasn't been because I haven't been playing. It's just because of the way I want to do videos now, and we're going to leave it at that. So let's get into the progress of what I've done since last video. So the first thing I had in mind, and remember the goal is to kind of get my crafting up, and if you don't remember, I have about 15,000 unpowered orbs in my bank that I've been saving up. So that's kind of the macro goal, is to get those done. So to get those powered, I need runes, and a lot of them, and to get those runes I have to rune craft them because I'm not a lowly main account. I can't just go to the Grand Exchange and buy all my skills, so I have to do it by hand. So I need a way to get pure essence, and my way of doing that will be to do temple trekking, because it's one of the best ways, as far as I know, to get pure essence at my level. So I'll be doing that. So I need some things. First off, I wanted to get full graceful. So I went ahead and got 70 agility. And again, since I am an Ironman and not a lowly main account, I couldn't just take the easy way out and buy my levels. I had to go do it the old-fashioned way, the way you had to do it before the GE, and do rooftop agility training, because that's been in the game for quite a while, as we all know. And I got 70 agility as well as full graceful. So I didn't really have to go all the way to 70, and realistically I didn't need graceful, but at the time I just felt like training agility, and I think it's nice to kind of have that level in the bank and have enough marks of grace left over to do whatever I want with it, whether I need to create stamina potions with it in the future or just to recolor, because Fashionscape is the only scape I play. So after we went ahead and got 70 agility, I needed to do a few quests to be able to do temple trekking. And those quests were In Search of and In Aid of Myreque. So I had to do those quests, and as much as I dislike quests, I dislike them even more in an Ironman, because I have to get supplies by myself, and I have to manually get them instead of just buying them. Stuff like a spade or a hammer or planks. I mean, that stuff that doesn't just grow on trees. I have to get that stuff by hand and make sure it's all there by the time I do the quest, or else I have to just spend too long getting them in the middle of the quest, and I don't like doing that. So quests are even less liked on my Ironman than on my main account by me, but I bit the bullet and I went ahead and did those. Now, after I did those two quests, I was kind of unsure of what direction I wanted to take, because to do temple trekking at that point would have been, in my opinion, very inefficient, because I would have to run all the way back to the start of it after I finish every route. So what I in the end decided to do is go for Mortania Legs 3, so I'll have the teleport back. I understand I could have just done the Darkness of Hollowvale quest and then just done temple trekking both ways, but I didn't want to do that quest because if I remember that quest correctly, and I'm pretty sure I do, I don't like it. So I decided to just go ahead and get the Mort Legs 3, mainly because it will help me just progress macro-wise, or it'll help me manage my time better. That's not even the correct term to use for that, but it will help progress my account better than just kind of rushing the rune crafting levels. So I decided to kind of switch my focus to that, and the first thing I really had to do was get Slayer done, because I'll need 70 prayer for the Mort Legs 3 and 70 defense, and I'm not going to just power train my defense, so I want a well-balanced account. Even though I have this fury goal in mind, I do want an overall balanced account. So I decided to go for Slayer, and I needed to gear up a bit for Slayer, as my gear in general was pretty bad. Yeah, it was literally just full rune with the Dragon Scimitar. So I decided to spend some time and gear up. So the first thing I had to do were some quests that I've actually been avoiding pretty heavily, and those were the Fremennik quests. And the reason is I don't like that whole area. I don't know. It's just always the first thing I disliked as a member was the Fremennik area, because there's just no bank, and it's just so hard to do things over there. So I've just always had a personal bias against them. So I have been procrastinating on those quests, and I also was trying to convince myself that I wasn't going to be able to do the Fremennik Isles. I didn't think I was going to be able to kill the last boss, but it turned out it was so incredibly easy, and I even got a free prayer potion out of it, which I think is my first ever prayer potion on this account. So that was very helpful. and doing those quests was actually a lot easier than I would have thought, and getting the Helm of Nietzsche was definitely worth it and was a nice addition to my Slayer gear. So after that, I'm not exactly sure on the order, but I'm pretty sure after that I went for my RD Cloak 1, mainly for the teleports, so I could have a teleport close to a fairy ring. And I know my memory is probably as bad as my upload schedule, so I apologize if that's not in the right order. And I know you're thinking, why don't you just pre-record your clips like every other successful YouTuber does? And, well, the simple answer is I'm not a successful YouTuber, so I can't do things like that. And it just doesn't work for me. I apologize. But I did go ahead and get my RD Cloak 1. I'll be kind of working on the RD Cloak slowly along the way, as I like the effect of it, and it will probably be my main cape for the time being, as it's got a few offensive stats, and I don't see myself getting a fire cape on this account anytime soon, or a skill cape for that matter. So I'm going to be slowly just getting better RD capes as time goes on. So I went ahead and got the first cloak, as it's going to help me with getting Slayer tasks way easier as a quick fairy ring teleport, so I can get right to Xarnas. So I went ahead and got that. The next thing I needed to do was get a pair of boots. So I went ahead and did Death's Plateau for climbing boots, as I could not think of any other better boots to fit my Ironman account than climbing boots. So very quick quest. Cannot complain about that one because, again, it is very quick. Although I will say, if anyone out here hasn't done that quest for a while and is creating a new account to go do that quest, the part where you have to gamble, I think his name is Harold, just get him drunk. I literally spent probably 30 minutes, because I was also AFKing. I was more or less AFKing. I was focusing on my main account at the time, so I wasn't really paying attention, and I didn't feel like going to get the whatever drink you have to get from the gnome stronghold to get him drunk, so I tried to just do it without that part. And it is possible. I will say it's possible, but it's not worth the time invested. It just takes forever, and you have to get very lucky. So just get him drunk. It's so worth it. That's really the only thing I have to say about that quest. In the end, the climbing boots, nice addition to my Slayer outfit. After that, we went ahead and did BA, and I don't know if I just let my bias kind of cloud my memory of pug groups in BA, or if BA is just more cancer than it usually is, but getting my fighter torso was a pain. There were a few times where someone left on wave 10, which I've never experienced before. On the queen wave, not even given an attempt, just straight out left. Most of the time, when I went for level 5 on my main account, I'd never had anyone leave on the queen wave. Maybe after a few fails, but not right off the bat. That just really surprised me and really kind of ruined my day. So it took me a few days to get that, just because I had to walk away from it for a little while. But I was able to achieve my fighter torso without too much of a difficulty. I did have to carry a few groups, and the footage you're seeing in the background is probably the most sloppy queen kill I've ever had in my life. But I thought that was a pretty good, it was a pretty fitting end to my Barbarian Assault venture, was that queen kill. So that is what we ended it with. Luckily, I was the collector, I believe, so I didn't really have to do anything. But everyone, it was just a mess overall. Let's just leave it at that. So that completed my Slayer outfit and my Slayer gear for the most part. So now we're in the present. All of our clips are caught up to, and now everyone is up to date with what my account has been doing. And I have been just pretty much training Slayer since that point. So I'm going to go ahead and show my skills. Again, not super impressive, but we're getting somewhere. And I think that's the biggest thing for me, is we're completing these little milestones, which will really help me just push this account to at least mid-level status very quickly. And I think we're in a good position to do that. And I just want to take the rest of the video to kind of explain my goals in this account and what I am kind of going to do from here on out, if you are interested. And I like talking about it, so we're going to. So you can see that I'm kind of just power training strength right now. I'm going to push this all the way to 70. I could have gotten 65 attack and then just gone for a defender, a dragon defender, because that is my goal for this setup. I'm using a Fremnik shield when I'm not using like a mirror shield like I am right now for this task. So I am using a Fremnik shield, which isn't super great. I do want to get a defender, as I think it will kind of round out my gear pretty well, at least for my level. But I didn't want to get 65 attack because it's not really going to help me too much. Cyclopses have low defense anyway, so it's not going to be super hard to hit them. So I decided to just get up to 70 strength, as I think it'll help me more in the long run before I go for attack. So anyway, the goal right now is to get 70 strength and then use Cyclopses to get up to 60 defense, get my defender, and then we'll go back to attack, get 70 attack, and then we're going to go to defense, get 70 defense, which is the requirement for piety anyway. So I'm kind of taking a long route to get that, and I do need that prayer for the Mort Legs 3. So you can see where I'm kind of taking a little bit of a detour from my main objective, which is to get a Fury Amulet and to get those runes crafted. But I think in the long run, it'll be better than just training up to 70 defense or than just doing temple trekking right off the bat. Obviously, I could get the Fury faster if I just straight went for pure essence right now, but the accumulated time would be longer and less efficient than doing it the right way. So I'm going to do it the right way and work towards a goal such as the Mort Legs, which will progress my account further in general. So I will be going for kind of straight 70s in the combats, and then I'll be switching to green dragons, and I'll be ranging those to hopefully get around 70 range. I don't know how far it's going to get me. I haven't done the math, and I don't really care how far it gets me, but it will be some nice range levels. And I'll need about 2,400 dragon bones to get me 270 prayer. So I'm going to just stick at green dragons. And then what will be nice about that is I'll be able to use those hides to get either 76 or 77 crafting, which will make boosting to 80 so much easier for the glory. And also doing the Slayer now might help me get another Dragonstone. I have one in my bank and I have 2, I think, loop halves of keys. So I either need just 1 Dragonstone drop or a tooth half, and I can have another Dragonstone, so I can wear one and I can put one in my house. Because as of right now, the one I have in my bank will be mounted in my house. I will not be using that as gear until I get a second one, because it will just make my life so much easier in terms of teleports and rune crafting especially. I'd rather have a mounted glory and use a power amulet for all of Slayer than use a glory amulet now and then not have one mounted when I need it for rune crafting. So I'm hoping that these Slayer levels will help me to get another Dragonstone. If not, I'll find another way of getting it. I'm not too worried about it. So that's kind of my short-term goals, is to just work on combat a lot to kind of get straight 70s in everything, including prayer, which will be really nice to just kind of round off my account, but also it'll kind of be a stopping point for some stuff, such as defense, ranged, and prayer. I can get those to 70 now and then not have to worry about them too much in the future, which is something that I like to do, is kind of get them to a good stopping point and then not pick them up until I really need to, and then they're not super under-leveled. So that's kind of the goal right now, is just to straight work on that and then slowly pick away at the Mort Legs 3, and then we'll get back to the main task. So the next few videos on this account will just be what I was just talking about, primarily Slayer, and I probably won't release a video until the Slayer is done, or at least until the Dragon Defender is done. I haven't really decided. Again, I'm releasing these videos more on like a goal basis, so I don't want to like schedule videos like once a week or once every other week or 2 a week. I'm doing it once I complete a goal, I'll make a video. It helps me from burning out, and I think it makes the content a little bit better. But that is all I have for this video. Again, the end was a little rambly, so I apologize for that, but I did try to warn you about 5 minutes ago that that was going to happen. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you're kind of enjoying the progress. I would like to hear your opinions on content you'd like to see Ironman specific, because one good thing about having an Ironman that's low level is I can make more content than I can on my main. My main takes longer to progress, and I don't have like hours on hours to dump into these accounts. So progress is a little bit slower on my main compared to my Ironman. So if there's some specific content that you think might be interesting, I can take a little bit of a detour from the main goal to produce that content if it's something you'd like to see. But I do have some other non-progress videos, related videos planned for the near future, and that will probably be a majority of the videos for the time being. But anyway, that's enough rambling for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, I am Joseph. This is Joseph's Place, and I will see you next time.